All right, Dean Legge, Ryan Curley, we're going to walk and talk this time. We just saw Mike White's introductory press conference, and well, is this going to work or not? I think that's my question always to things.
Define work. I mean, that was something that was thrown around today. I asked them, what do you define as success? Someone asked Josh Brooks
That's a good question.
And he just said that that's an ever-growing goal that they're going to reach because it's a stepping stone. I thought he answered it pretty well. But, I mean, we keep saying, is this going to work? We're not sure if this is going to work. But we need to figure out, what does that mean for this program?
I think that's a good question, right? I mean, what is success at Georgia? And I've written about this. I think in the next 15 years, this program should win a national championship, or at least, I said should win a national championship. I'm not gonna go back and forth about it. In the last 15 years, Florida's won the national championship. In the last 15 years, South Carolina's been in a Final Four. In the last 18 months, Auburn's been the number one team in the country. So it can happen, but you have to try. And one thing to me, Ryan, today showed to me the challenge that Mike White has in front of him more than anything. I know this place well. I know basketball in Georgia well. And today, there just weren't a lot of people here. There weren't as many people as I would have liked to have seen if I'm Mike White. And honestly, that's going to be up to Mike White to change.
Well, the one thing, that was honestly my favorite thing that he said to the crowd, because right there is where the people were not, it wasn't even filled up. Right. Where the students and alumni, whoever decided they wanted to come today, was here. It wasn't that many people. I don't even think it was 1,000.
Right.
But I think that one of the best things he said today, that I don't know if I ever heard Tom Creese say something like that, is he spoke directly to the dog pound, the student section, saying we need to work together to figure out how we can make this work. So I think one of the better things that we heard out of Mike White today was his willingness to grow the program. It seems like he understands how difficult that's going to be, and that it's going to not just take recruiting well, not just take coaching well, but there's going to be so many different aspects that they want to really sell basketball when it happens.
Hey, let's walk around. Now, listen, my cinematography skills are going to be limited here because I'm holding this thing. But this is part of the stuff that Mike White's going to be working with here. I got to tell you, this part, there's nothing, it's adequate. It is perfectly fine. It's good. There's a lot of great things about Stegman. It can be a scary place to play. But the underneath is the part where I think you would still like to get better. I'm not suggesting at all. I'm not one of the folks that thinks that you got to have a new building, because I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think you got to have it. But when you take a look and you're watching behind us, this is the part that I think you would like to see get better. Yeah. No one in the public sees it, but recruits see it. And it's not an ideal situation.
It doesn't represent what's going on out there.
No, it doesn't.
And so you'd want that to match.
You'd like it to. But it's a hall. People say, "Oh, it's a hallway." Well, I mean, to me,
when you walk into this building, you want to feel excellence. I mean,
right.
That's kind of what you want.
Everything matters.
Yeah. And you look at football facilities and stuff like that. If you walk through that, you feel like you're walking into a championship facility.
Well, you are.
So
officially.
Yeah.
Then that's the question: is what? We just talked with Mike White. I'm just gonna call him Mike from now on. You talked to him a second ago, and one thing that he's talking about is he will use football to his advantage. Well, good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you got to use every single thing you can possibly use.
That is going to be one of the strongest tools they have. They talked about it. They bring in recruits.
The largest marketing funnel is at the top. This is how you do it. As many people, more than 20 million people watch Georgia play football. How many people watched Georgia play basketball this past year? That's the question. Not that many, obviously. 20 million in the national championship game. So my arm is already getting tired.
They need to sell to people to come here to watch these games. Because that just, the last 4 years,
great.
And I know COVID kind of put a little dip into that.
It did.
But the last 4 years, it wasn't there.
But it's great, honestly. It's great entertainment.
Yeah.
It's great to see competition at this high level, which is what you get when you talk about the SEC schools. But it's all there, I do. I think today, and if you weren't here, it's hard. Georgia staged it pretty well to where you couldn't necessarily see the deficiencies. But if you were here today, the challenge you've got is that football just won the national championship. And I don't think it was 90,000 people that were at Sanford, but it was 80. And that's a lot of people.
Yeah, to celebrate.
To celebrate.
Not to watch anything in particular, but to celebrate the game.
There was nothing, Today could have been a packed house. Did you know any of your friends that came?
No.
Right.
No,
So,
they just weren't that interested.
Right.
And I didn't
That's the
recognize
problem.
anybody out there. They need to figure out how to
Georgia.
get people interested, and they need to recruit in this state. No, because when you talk to people in college that somewhat understand what's going on,
Yeah.
they look at Auburn, they look at Kentucky. Well, they have kids from Georgia.
Right.
People want to see kids from Georgia play here and succeed here, and he's got to figure that out.
Well, and that will be that's why there was so much momentum for Jonas. That's why people wanted Jonas. Mm-hmm. And I understand that. I do. I think if you're Josh, and I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just going to tell you right now, I don't know if it's going to work. How can anyone? Well, work is what is progress. That? You can see progress. If this guy takes you to an NCAA tournament, that's progress.
But how long
He's
do you
never.
give him that
He should be able to do it relatively fast.
You think that within that 4-year period?
Oh my God, 4 years is a lifetime in men's basketball.
Especially with the transfer portal.
This is a totally different world. Totally different world. But what I would say is every time Mike has gotten to the tournament, he's won.
Yeah.
So this is about getting to the tournament. He's never had a losing season in conference play. As a person who's played in conference play, that is an achievement. It's tough to win in the whatever conference you play in, particularly on the road. I cannot explain it. I don't know why. It just is. It's hard.
He knows the SEC. That's really important.
It is important.
He understands the recruiting landscape in the SEC. He knows what it takes to succeed. I think that's definitely a positive and something that was probably on the list of pros when they said, okay, Mike White's the guy. I think that had at least a little bit to do with it, that he knows the conference.
Well, there's pitfalls in this league too. 6 guys have been let go, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, he didn't get let go, but he's one of 6 changes. Frank Martin has been around the block. It was time. There's been other people. There's no reason.
LSU's coach is out.
Well, that was a disaster. But when you look at this now, like this to me, Ryan, is what people complain about from time to time. I'm not sure it's as bad as I've seen this place lit up. I've been right down here on courtside. I mean, I've been up in the top in the rafters. I was when Shaquille O'Neal and Alec Kessler matched up in 1990. I was up there in, I think, double C. Honestly, I don't know. It was in the upper deck. But this place it's not any different than anywhere else in the league. It can really be tough to play here. I don't think you need a bigger place, and many times I feel like they need a smaller place to some degree. But this is what you're working with now. But more than anything, the talk about the facility, irrelevant. The number one thing that you have going for you here is the resources of the state, and that's the people. And it is this place has tremendous resources. It's got Atlanta, Savannah, Augusta, Columbus, Macon, Tifton, and Albany. They all have very good basketball. I know they do because I played against the guys from there. I know what this is like. It's all there. Now he's got to do it and wrap it up in a bow and deliver it. They got to win conference basketball games. Like an Ole Miss game on a Wednesday night might not be a big deal. They got to win it.
They have to win that.
That's what I'm talking about.
And this university has the resources too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what they talked about.
Of course it does.
It's Georgia. This is Georgia. They just won a national championship.
That term is overused, right?
No,
it's
but I don't think that matters if it's overused or not. It's true. It's
if you
one
can
of the
listen,
programs in the country.
Here's the thing, okay? If you're Jerry Moorhead and you can grow the endowment to $1.8 billion in a matter of about 10 years, something like that, you can win at men's basketball. If you can double your endowment, people don't know what I'm talking about. That's way more difficult to do than win at men's basketball. That is getting people to give to something Money. You don't have to give money to win at basketball. You just got to go do it, okay? And it's past time, and we're going to see if Mike White can get it done. I don't know. I don't know. I'm done giving predictions about all of this.
No one knows the question, but I think they really need to find what works for them and what their
okay,
actual
fine.
goals are.
We'll end it like this. What is success to you?
They need to make a tournament in the next few years. They need to make a tournament in the next couple years.
I would say within 3 years for sure.
That's what
for
they
sure,
need to
because
do.
they're coming up behind us. I don't want them to hear all this discussion. All right, wrapping up from segment, Dean Legge, Ryan Curley. Thanks for watching.